So this is kind of an odd unit to do any kind of lecture to, because if we're looking at the history of hunger and food inequality, we're looking at human history, right? Like this has existed forever. So I really couldn't think of a way to narrow it down into just a series of slides about some people being hungry and some people being very, very well fed. I think what is most galling about today, why this seems like a global issue, is that we live in a time of seemingly endless abundance, right? That even not just even, and especially the poor people in developed countries are overweight because there's so many calories packed into our food that not having access to manual labor, either through work or through a gym, that's a bigger threat to your health than hunger is in developed industrialized countries. And yet there's still some sections of the world where there is starvation and true famine, where hundreds, thousands of people die yearly of malnutrition, of not having enough food. So what this indicates, and what these readings will kind of get at, is that it's not that there is a global dearth of food, right? That we have more people than we have resources to feed them. There's enough food for everyone. There's enough food to go around. Probably Americans waste enough food to feed a substantial population of the world's hungry. The problem is that there's not the means to get food from where it is to where it is not, and part of the reason there's not the means is because there's not the will to get food from where it is to where it is not, and from who has it to who doesn't, for a realistic price for the starving people. There's a great scene in The Grapes of Wrath, where for those of you that didn't have to read it in high school or college, I'm sorry, it's good. But the book's about a family of kind of refugees from the Dust Bowl in Oklahoma that go out to California, and starvation or hunger has been kind of a constant companion. And by the time they get to California, starvation is a real concern. That they and people around them are starting to die or have serious health consequences because they haven't really been eating or eating properly. And they see, that one of the jobs available is for people to go pick oranges in the orange orchards, and kind of at the end of the day, all the unsold or kind of not fit for market quality oranges are gathered in a big heap, doused in gasoline, and then lit on fire. Because you can't just give food away. Then why would anyone buy it? And then the entire kind of economy would collapse. So it's the readings that you'll kind of focus on will look at kind of the struggle of dealing with that kind of thinking, where maybe the concepts of food and food distribution are so kind of profit oriented that it's getting people killed. And I think it'll also try to balance that with kind of the realistic sense of, right, well, we're not going to create kind of a communist utopia overnight. So how do we feed people? How do we go about solving hunger? Through government, through political action, or through the work of non-governmental organizations within the framework of things that exist now. It's a good question. It's a complex question. I think these are some of the longer documents that I've posted up on Blackboard. Again, don't try to read every page of these 200-page reports. Get to the good stuff. Get to the evidence and the findings of these reports. And I think that this will be something that will lean a little bit more heavily on the discussion boards for this unit than we will on the lectures, because, like I said, this is pretty much what I've got. Okay, so enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the boards.